Welcome to the Daily Millwall for Christmas Day 2020. And we're going to start off today's show by talking about the transfer movements that might be happening in come January 2nd in the January transfer window. Seeing as we've had these two games called off, and it seems that Gary Rowett is focusing on the transfers, maybe in and out. We've seen Danny McNamara being recalled from his loan. He's still at St Johnstone now, but he'll come back in January. We've heard rumours about Troy Parrott going back to Spurs, and maybe Zohore as well if he can't prove how fit he is. So let's have a look at this. And this is from the South London Press Online, londonnewsonline.co.uk, from Richard Corley, and it says Millwall boss expecting some of his squad to be accessing move options in the January window. It carries on. Gary Rowett knows that some of his Millwall squad are likely to be eyeing the exit door when the transfer window opens on January the 1st. The Lions have a number of players who could be free agents in the summer, including the likes of Matt Smith, Sean Williams, Ryan Leonard and Tom Bradshaw. Millwall manager Rowett said, look at someone like Jiri, for example. He's out of contract at the end of the season. It will be natural in January for his representatives to be looking at his options, just because that will be them doing their job. We have got quite a few of those players, and because of COVID, we haven't sat down and looked at it. There are going to be one or two in January that might have offers from other places and try and see where that leads. Within any football club, you've got 80% who are pretty happy and 20% who haven't had enough game time and are looking for an opportunity elsewhere. That's just football and how it happens. I've been in that situation myself as a player. I expect some sort of movement in terms of loan players, and there are a couple of areas in the summer we didn't quite move on, again because of the situation with COVID. Sometimes you get to this point and in January you're only looking to add one or two and let one or two out to play a bit more football, but you put all of what I've just said into a melting pot and hopefully we'll be in a position to do a bit more for different reasons. And what he's saying now, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but any players who are out of contract in the summer, I think with less than 6 months on their contract, I think that's the rule. FIFA have said they can start speaking to other clubs about when to get a new contract when their old one expires. So from January, any of our players whose contracts have less than 6 months on before they run out can start talking to other teams. And they don't need the permission from the club or anything like that. And they can just do that and sort themselves out a new job when their current job ends. There was another story from the South London Press that was about Ben Thompson. It says, Millwall boss not expecting midfielder movement in January transfer window. It says, Gary Rowett is not expecting Ben Thompson to ask for a loan move away from Millwall. Portsmouth were interested in another temporary deal for the midfielder, 25 in the last transfer window. Thompson was a smash hit during a loan spell with the South Coast club in the first half of the 2018-19 campaign. Kenny Jackett's side are top of League One. Lions manager Rowett said there has always been interest in Thommo from different places. Now I know there's been quite a lot of speculation from the Portsmouth end about their interest in the past, because he did really well there. But he's an important part of what we're doing. Until Thommo comes to me and says, I haven't had enough game time, I need to play more, then there isn't really a debate to have. I don't anticipate that conversation happening. The lads love him and he worked incredibly hard every day in training. How many games he starts will be down to his performances when he does start. I think there's a little more to come from him. So he's saying Thompson isn't going on loan unless he wants to go on loan. And it doesn't seem that he's going to want to do that. And it seems that Ben Thompson has been playing. He hasn't been playing that well. And I think from that last line there, he says, where Rowett says, I think there's a little more to come from him. I think he expects him to be playing a bit better as well as the fans off the pitch who have seen that maybe it's not the Thommo that we see a couple of seasons or last season. Anyway, so you can see there that's thoughts and actions are being guided by the club and by Garrett Rowett towards the transfers coming up to try and get us back up that table, get us away from the relegation zone, maybe into the playoffs, but just away from the relegation zone would be sweet. And we're going to finish today with this video message that Gary Rowett, the Millwall manager, put out on Twitter. Kind of like a Queen's speech, but for the Millwall manager. And I don't know what's going on with the Millwall Twitter today, but it was constant today. I don't know if the person running it was isolated and had nothing to do because they were self-isolating and couldn't get to a Christmas dinner themselves, or whether they went to one and it was just they were bored off their mind. But they were tweeting all day long, including a couple of retweets. So that's how you know it wasn't scheduled. They retweeted a couple of things as well. So anyway, let's have a listen of what Gary Rowett had to say.
All the Millwall fans out there, really appreciate your support this year. It's been a really tough year. I hope you all have a fabulous Christmas, a fabulous New Year. And we desperately need to get you back and see you all soon. And we've certainly missed your support this year. I know it's a very, very year. Having to drive the team on in difficult games. I know it's been a tough year for everybody, I know, but pulling it together. Appreciate this year the challenges on the pitch. Gone too many things. To make that happen and make this once again, I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
And there you have it, everyone. And on that note, I'm going to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye for now.